Welcome back to another video. I'm finally able to make this video. I attempted to make this video yesterday. The commentary sucked, so I got rid of it. But now that I'm actually better, I can actually make this video. This video was like requested like a week ago, but I was sick. Like I just said, I was sick for like 3-4 days, so I wasn't able to make the video. But now I can. This video is quite easy. It's like straightforward. We all been here. Who to prioritize for RAW. We all use RAW. We all know who to prioritize, but for those that probably aren't, with RAW, they probably use something else. They probably won't know who's after Atropos and whatnot. So the first character on this list is Atropos. She's basically the most used character, or the most useful character in the game. Regardless where you go, you have to use her. Every clear trial, that could be in Celestial Trials, it could be in any or Odyssey, whatever you want to call it, or even PvP, you will see her there because she's the most used character in the game and she's the most helpful character in the game. I'll say that. The only bad thing about her is that her runes have to be super specific. We'll go to our rune site right now. People will look at this and be like, damn, that's correct. This is incorrect, by the way, but the game's just showing you any runes, but this is incorrect. So if you're quite new to the game, don't go off what the game tells you to go off, because the game will give you the incorrect stuff. Even when I was new to the game, I didn't know that, but knowing how devs are, they don't actually care to put in the top quality meta stuff. They just put in anything and people rock it, and yeah, they get bad results. But yeah, what you want to do for my Atropos right here is also 5. Mine was not red, but as you can see, I got the red one. I got lucky. I got the red one from a trial. But what I want to do is put all of these as the same attack, because her kit revolves around attack. It's only attack. There's no shielding. There's none of that. It's just straight attack. The more attack she has, the more damage your team can do. So if I did something stupid like this, for example, this is incorrect, but let's say I did do something like this. Where am I doing? If I did something like this, right? Just for example. If I did something like this is incorrect. People may think, well, you can use dodge in Odyssey and blah, blah. You can use a dodge. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that she can dish out as much power as she can, so your team can do as much damage as they can. So now that I've got 2 dodge, 2 attack, the only thing she gets is crit damage. She's never ever going to crit damage because she can't attack. So I don't know what this crit damage is doing, but it's quite useless. But then we look at the bottom, it says dodge rate in 15%. That's nice, but it's 15%, after a few macro tries, that dodge may be valuable. But what is more valuable? Having 40 more attack or 40% more attack so she can distribute that to her team, or have the 15% dodge that may be good. That's the thing. So what you want to do if you're using Atropos is you want to put all the attack here. So make sure it's all attack. You want the Empire attack. That's the best one by far. You want to do that. And then that's the first thing you want to do. And let's say you want the exclusive runes, but you get unlucky. What you should do is make sure you can get this one or the bottom one, but you want to have the exclusive runes on attack only. Just for other characters in this game, there are some characters that need the attack stat, and they do need the exclusive runes. So you have to be quite specific. So what you need to do is go into Celestial Trials. Yeah, get a... I'll show you. It's kind of hard to explain it, but I'll show you. So I need to go to a character that doesn't have it. Let's just try Athena. Athena is a good example. So let's say I wanted Athena to be 4 Empire attack, right? Because she's quite like this, but I wouldn't do that. But let's just say I wanted her to be 4x4 Empire, right? I'll go to Purify here. And what I would do is I would collect these blue things. If you don't know where to get the blue things from, you get them from Celestial Trials. As you build them up, if you do them, you'll get these little pieces, and then you can fuse them, both of them right here. So the left piece and the right piece will go together, and you get them. And you get them from Celestial Trials, from the Doom one and the Empire one, or whatever it's called, and then you'll get these pieces. But apart from that, you get the pieces, and then you'll go here and do them. And what you should do, the more smart thing to do is make sure you get a good rune stat. So as you can see, I got a good rune stat, and make sure down here it's damage DPS. You have to lock it, for example. I'm not going to do it now, but you would do it in your own time. You lock this to damage DPS, right? So now it's locked. For example, mine was locked on Empire Protection because it is protection. But if yours attack, you have to lock it and then keep purifying it until you find a good stat. For example, like this. My one is a red one. I didn't do it for the red one, but this is something you want, right? My red one is increased damage, yeah, or effects by prayer. So basically, when she used the prayer, it's basically like a second ult. Yeah, you would do more damage. You'll provide more damage so your team could do more damage. That's pretty good. Stuff you don't want is reflect resistance or increased reflect rate. You don't want that because it doesn't increase her damage. The only ones you want is increased damage, like this one, increase prayer, increase attack, or the least you can get, this is the weakest one but it's still doable, is crit resistance. Yeah, crit resistance also gives you attack, but again, that's something at the lower end. But everything else, attack, prayer increase, all this other stuff which says increase, you want to get that. That's how you do a good Atropos. And then of course you want to get her red talent. You don't want to go all the way to the top because it's going to be very expensive, but you can do that if you've got the red talent, because the more attack she has, it's the more crazier she's going to be. That's pretty much Atropos. She's the first priority in Val. Do not skip past her because then you're going to be falling like down in the game and not actually progressing. But make sure you get up to 15 if you can. 12 is good enough, but nothing under 12 because that's just useless. Who's next? We all know who's next. People will say it's Nyx. I wouldn't say it's Nyx. I'm being dead serious. It's not Nyx. I'll say it's Makaria. Before people say why is it Makaria over Nyx, Makaria is way more useful than Nyx when it comes to actually using her universally. You can actually bring her in Glorian teams. You can put her in inferior teams because she has the passive, right? This one right here. No, this one, sorry. Is this one? Which one is it? Yeah, it's this one. Basically, anyone that has shields in your team will get a stronger shield if Makaria is on the battlefield. So people like Cat, Twins, who else has shield? Whoever, right? Even the Hand of Tyr, for example. Hand of Tyr provides shields. Anything with shields in that team will be stronger. And with her in the team, is so useful because she's also Monarchs. So Monarchs is so strong in Glorians. You want to have her in your team. Monarchs is also good in Mystifiers now. Of course, she won't be in there, but she can be in there if you want the Monarchs. And then she can also play in Rao, and she can also play in Ethereal. So if you want a good character in like to prioritize, you can get Makaria. Makaria is easy to get. You can get her from Odyssey, and you can get her from the tree thing. I don't know what the shop's called, but it's like the tree thing, the PvP thing. It's quite easy. Get 4,000 tokens and you can buy her. So this tree right here, you get 4,000. It's easy to get 4,000 depending on what server you're on, but once you get 4,000, you can buy her weekly, and then you can obviously make your Makaria really strong, or you can go into the Odyssey, I think sometimes she might be in hard or easy. No, so not easy, so she'll be in hard, or what's the other one? Not Nightmare. Yeah, I think it's Nightmare or Abyss. Yeah, Abyss or hard. She'll be in one of those ones. You get the card and you get Makaria. Quite simple. You don't want to buy Makaria, so because it's kind of a waste. You want to buy her with money. Don't buy Makaria with money. Do not use Oracle coins on her. She's not that worth it, but you can get her from other places like I just mentioned. You can get her from the shop, or you can get her from Odyssey. And that's not the only reason why she's good. It's not just the Monarchs. Sorry, it's not just the Monarchs and the passive why she's good. She does a lot of damage to multiple people with her ult. I think it's called Slice and Dice. This ult right here does a lot of damage. When it comes to playing in PvP, for example, you're playing in Arena, she does a lot of damage. She may miss 1 or 2 people, but she does a ton of damage, especially with the runes. If you get the exclusive runes, if there's 3 people dead, she will get the turn again. And you're probably thinking, well, 3 people are never dead. If there is that opportunity of 3 people dying, then she can also do that, which is insanely strong. And another thing why she's so useful, more than Nyx, is because she has this Holy Shield removal. You're probably thinking, what is that? When you go into Celestial Trials, or you go into Odyssey, they'll ask you, you need to bring a Holy Armor removal, yeah, and you're going to give you 2 options. They're going to give you Cat from Ethereal, or they're going to ask you, can you bring Makaria? Of course, most people choose Makaria because she's going to be bloated. She's a royal at the end of the day, so she's going to have the demon passive, give you an extra Holy Shield. Holy Shield's good in Odyssey to keep you alive, and she does a ton of damage. So yeah, overall, she's definitely more a priority than Nyx. And I'm gonna explain why Nyx is not as good as Makaria. So after Atropos, you would get Nyx if you are trying to build up a good Rao team, or you want to have just good Rao units in general. So it goes Atropos, then it goes Makaria. The next person is Nyx on this list. Nyx is actually a very strong unit in the game, PvP or even Odyssey. Sometimes you may want to use her in boss stages because she has Striker. 3 strikers in your team can make your whole team be stronger per round, making you be able to complete the rounds. She can be good with characters like Seraphina, Atropos. Those 3 were in the same team would have the striker, pretty good. She's also a demon, so she can work well with Makaria, giving you the holy shield in your team. It's only 2 stacks. And then she's obviously Val, so she can also work with Makaria and Atropos. The good thing about Nyx is that she has a great passive, and she has a great rune skill. Her red rune skill isn't as good in PvE because even if you do stun them, it's not going to do anything, and some people are immune to stuns, like the bosses, so it isn't that good. But it can still be nice to have a stun, but the stun isn't that great in PvE. But in PvP, the stun is somewhat good because Glorians are just stun immune anyway, so you can't stun them. And in PvP, this would be good against Ethereal, but sometimes, you know, when you have a Nyx, you want to line it up against someone that's actually strong, like a Eudora. If Eudora is on slot 3, 4, 5, and your Nyx is on the opposite end, then your Nyx would prioritize killing her. But the stun's only for 1 round, so Nyx is not going to do much with that stun against someone like Eudora, because Eudora is quicker. Same like Karnak. Karnak's quicker than Nyx, so this stun is actually not as useful as it seems to be. But with other characters, this stun can be useful. But I wouldn't recommend people getting these red runes. The red runes are not the best in Val. I feel like other characters have better red runes, like Victoria. Red runes are way better. So if you want to get red runes, get hers. Even Makari's ones are really good. They work with shields, and it's always nice to have more shields, but there's only 1 or 2 characters that can counter shields in this game, so the Makari ones are way better than the Nyx ones. But yeah, the Nyx one, most people don't know what this is. Nightmare Grip. It's basically a second ability. Her second ability is just a damage ability. It can one-shot people sometimes. If her 10% chance is actually activated, it can one-shot people, and it can actually one-shot people twice, so you can go again. You might ult, and then you do your nightmare. You might use the nightmare, then use the nightmare again. So it is very useful. People seen it in my videos. It's very useful. So if you are gonna have Nyx, this is a priority. You need to have the runes. If you don't have the runes, Nyx is kind of bad. The runes make her really good. Only the exclusive yellow ones. The red ones, not as much. I wouldn't recommend people getting this unless it's a luxury. The strikers is good. Her speed's 105. Maybe in the future she might get a skin. If she does get a skin, she's definitely going to scale up in the tier list very high, because her skin gives you a lot of speed, and that's where she's kind of lacking. Her damage is good. Her PvP results are very high. It's just the speed being a 105. It's quite outdated now. Most DPSs are at 106 or even higher than that. So her being 105 is quite outdated, because when she's on attack, she might go last, and when she's on attack, she's gonna go last anyway. So yeah, that's the only thing holding her back. The passive, if people don't know what the passive does, basically it's just a shield passive. When she ults someone, she can take the shield back or take the shield from them, but it can only be a certain amount. And then this one right here is the grip thing, what I just mentioned. There's a 25% chance to use Nightmare Grip, and then of course if you have a rune skill like I just mentioned, you can do it twice. And this is what Nightmare Grip is. It's just your second ability, and then each ability has a 10% chance of doing I don't know what to say. I think it said X amount. It can do 10x amount of damage to the enemy. So yeah, that's pretty good. It's quite low, but it doesn't seem low. I don't know how to explain it. It says 10% chance, but it doesn't feel like 10% chance. Everyone that has a Nyx would think it's 10% chance. It feels like 30% chance. I'm going to be dead honest with you. I've ran Nyx since I started this game. Nyx was out when I played the game. I bought her straight away. I've worked on her for about maybe a few months now. I feel like this 30% chance is, or the 10% chance is not 10% chance. It's definitely higher. I would say it's like 25 to 30% chance. So don't be fooled by a 10% chance. It's not 10. I think it's 30, but they put 10 to make it look more civilized and not make it look OP. But when you actually use it after a while, back to back to back, it's definitely not 10. But yeah, definitely a strong target, definitely a strong unit. I'll put her in the 3rd place for priority. So we go Atropos, Makaria, then Nyx. Next on this list is I'm not gonna put this new character because where is it? Not her. She's terrible. She's definitely at the bottom of the list. But yeah, she is. Well, she's at the bottom of the list. I don't know where to put him. People say he's good. People say he's not as good. I know that he has a great passive where if no one dies in his team, then he won't die. But if everyone's dead, then he will die. So basically, you can't kill him unless everyone else is dead in your team. But the bad thing about it is that the only person that can stay alive in your team is Atropos, because Atropos has got a lot of damage reduction. But apart from that, if she dies, then pretty much he's gonna die. And with Doom being really strong, I think she would die regardless. Glorians can kill her. Ethereals they don't really care. Adora would kill Atropos in no time. I feel like his passive works well, but I feel like it doesn't work well in Val. If you use him in Doom, it's actually pretty good because Doom doesn't actually die with Arishtar being super bulky with the HP with Sanctuary. He's gonna stay alive for a long time doing damage. He also works well in Avengers. He can work well with Janna. He can work well with Selene. Again, they die, come back alive. He's still alive. He also has Phantom. Janna has Phantom, and who else has Phantom? There's another person that has Phantom in what's it called? Avengers. He works well in those teams. He can probably be decent in Mystify. He can probably be decent over there because they get the healing over time and they're quite annoying with the sustain. And he can probably work in a bad Val team, not Val team. He can work well in a decent Val team. But apart from that, I don't think he's going to be great in Val. I haven't used him. He probably is good. Don't take my judgment. But I can't really say much about him. The good thing about him is that he has great speed. And yeah, he has a taunt in his kit. I love a taunt in teams because then you can stop characters like Eudora. Or you can stop characters like Nyx, for example, or Makaria. Those characters. But with Glorious having like CC immunity, the taunt doesn't really do much. And Doom doesn't really need to attack people. If you move, you die. So the taunt's not really great there. It's only good against Ethereal, but Ethereal's going to most likely one-shot you anyway. But again, I feel like this character is only good against Ethereal because they're the only person that actually care about getting taunted. If they get taunted, it's actually quite annoying. But with everybody else, they don't care if they get taunted. So yeah, overall, a decent character. I can't really say much about him. He probably is great, but I'm not going to say much about him to make people not get him. But personally, I wouldn't get him. I'll probably get him for Doom or Avengers. But if I was going to make a good Val team, I've already got a good Val team. But if I was going to put him in my Val team, I'll question it. So yeah, I wouldn't put him as priority. He's not priority for me. The Phantom synergy does put me off. I always like a bit of like strikers or protector or monarchs or even what's it called, enchanter. Those are quite great. I feel like Phantom's too weak in my opinion. They're on too many Garbo characters. I know they're on new characters now, but I'm talking like he's really gonna have those characters if you're not gonna spend a lot of money. Next is Victoria. I feel like Victoria is definitely the third priority or the fourth priority after Atropos, Makaria, Nyx. Victoria will be the fourth one. The reason why she's the fourth one because she also has Monarchs. Again, Monarchs is insanely strong. You should always try to prioritize that in your team if you can. If you don't know what Monarchs does, Monarchs is basically a threshold DPS prevention. If that makes sense. When DPSs attack you, so for example, Naui or Nyx, they have like a one shot in their kit. Your people can't get one shot if they got the Monarch synergy or the Monarch synergy is applied to your team, but they can get killed if they do multiple actions. The enemy does multiple actions on you, you will die. But in the one action, just like Nyx, you know, the ultimate, she can't kill someone. So this is like a prevention from dying. It's quite useful in strong teams and strong PvP teams. In PvP, it's the most annoying thing to deal with because most targets won't die and they get healed or get a shield. Yeah, it's super good. So again, she has to be in that list or she has to be a priority because she has Monarchs and she's 106, not 105 like I mentioned before. Speed is quite important. The fact that she's 106, she can probably get a one-shot kill on like the front line because she only gets at the front line with the ultimate. At round 2, she might be able to kill whoever's in the front line, making you get charge on your relics or making you get kills, putting you ahead of the game so you don't die to the enemy team. Overall, definitely a good character. I like that she's 106 speed. Her damage is quite strong in a Val team or even Glorian. She's quite good there. Her passive is just like Victoria, non-Victoria, like Makaria with the shields, but it's quite opposite. I feel like when they get kills, you get a shield of your max HP. But again, Makaria's one's better. So if you want to use for shields, use Makaria. But you can use both of these people in the same team. So if you are making a Glorian team, there is a possibility that you could rock both of these in the same team to get 4 Monarchs. So that's going to be Talonist Twins, then you run Gwyn, then you run Victoria Makaria. That's going to be 4 Monarchs. Insanely strong, insanely annoying. If you want to make a Val team, that Val team is quite strong. It isn't the best one, but it is strong in Val team, having 4 Monarchs. You can also put in other Monarch teams with like a Val Monarch team that's actually capable of doing. You just need 1 more Monarch, so it's quite easy to find 1 Monarch from anywhere. And she can work decently in in Ethereal. Again, the shield business. If you get a kill, Idora is definitely getting a kill with red runes or yellow runes. She's definitely getting a kill. You get the shield bonus, which is really nice. So again, if you want to use Victoria, you can use her in Val. She's great in Val. She's great in Glorians, and she's also good in Ethereals. And then, like I said before, I don't know if you mentioned it. I don't know if you heard what I said, but I mentioned it before. Her rune skills are insane. The red runes, I said to you before on the Nyx one, if you go back on the Nyx one, I said do not get the Nyx red runes because there's other people that have a better red runes, and Victoria is definitely the one to have their red runes prioritized in the entire Val. In the entire Val selection, she's the best one. She has bind. If you don't know what bind is insanely strong. It basically makes someone useless for 2 rounds. So if you get this in round 1, which you most likely are, you're going to bind 2 people, and if they don't have bind removal, so bind removals on certain characters like Victoria herself, she can also get rid of bind. If there's no one that can get rid of bind, it is super annoying, and you're basically going to lose, because once it tags 2 people, they're done. They're not going to do anything. All they can do is just attack. That's it. And it's quite annoying because you can lose a game just by this rune, or this rune, red rune. And it's also good in PvE. It's not the worst in PvE. In PvE, you can get to super high stages, because if they can't attack, they're automatically bloated. They're like got the most investment possible. If they can't attack, you're not going to die. So it's great in PvE if you want to get to high stages by like extra 1,000 stages on certain floors. It is great. But in PvP, it's even more useful. The only bad thing is that it can be removed by certain characters, but it's definitely the best red runes in the tire of Val. So like a Macarius one's great, but it isn't better. Nyx's one is situational. And it has many counters like Glorians, CC immunity, that's annoying. And she's 1 of 5 speed, so it may not even happen because 1 round. Maybe she had 2 rounds. If you got in round 1, the stun, then you have the round in round 2. But with Nyx's one, it says round only for 1 round. So if you're not hitting them for a good amount, it's just useless, right? Because then they're going to get the stun, and the stun's not going to be useful because they're going to move before you anyway. So yeah, if you want to get the red runes, get the red runes on Victoria, please, because this is a very strong red runes. I don't have them. If you're going to ask me why I don't have them, I don't have them because I'm not loaded. I can't just spend all my red runes everywhere else. I got my red runes prioritized for other characters. But if I was a Val main, like a 100% Val main, then she would definitely get my red runes. And she's 106 speed, so she's never going to fall off until, I don't know, season 4. I'll say season 4, that's when they're probably going to introduce a speed mechanic. And that's when 106 speed was probably going to be trash. But yeah, for now, a very strong character if you want to use a good Val team. So next, well, we're probably done. We're done with all the royals now. That's all the royals, right? Yes, we're done with all the royals. So now we're on to like the free-to-play characters. The characters are decent. All these characters are quite trash, by the way. I just want to say it now. Just compared to like Glorians or Ethereals, these ones are quite trash. I'm going to explain to you why. She's the only decent one. She may be useless in other people's eyes, but she is insanely powerful with the exclusive runes. That's it. And you don't know what the exclusive runes are. Basically, you can mark someone and people will do more damage towards them, and it can be done to the backline. This is actually really good. It's just that it gets countered quite easily. The counters are you kill her or you be Glorians. That's it. But if one per target in an enemy team is focused by 5 people in your team, that person's dead on round 1. Yeah, that person's dead on round 1. I've seen it before. If you use her in Ethereals, it is actually insanely strong. You probably think that's troll, but it's not, because if she gets that mark off on round 1, on round 2, everyone just jumps piles to 1 target, and that's insanely strong. Just letting you know that for now. Apart from this, it's not good. Apart from that, her whole kit is just not that great. So the mark is the only good thing that's good in her kit. The healing rupture, again, if you've got Idora, you don't need it. The healing reduction is actually good, but it only hits, or Raptor, sorry, it's only good for attacking 1 target that can actually heal. But you don't have the, well, how can I explain it? You don't have the aim to pick who you want. It just goes on anyone, and this is going to go on slot 1 and slot 2. It says basic attack, so basic attack only means that it's going to hit the first target or the second target in the enemy team in slot 1 and 2. But if they're both dead, then it was going to hit, I think it goes Depending where you stand, it goes 4, 5, you know, it goes 3, 4, 5, or it goes 3, 5, 4. Yeah, if that makes any sense. Yeah, okay, but anyway, that's kind of hard to explain. You have to play the game to know what I just said. But yeah, this is only good for attacking slot 1, slot 2 in enemy team, but that's kind of useless. And again, if you have a Dora, you got the heal and rupture there. This is just the mark thing, like I just mentioned. It has a 50% chance. That's it. But the only good thing about her whole kit is that she has the red runes, or the runes. These two right here, red or the yellow one. These are both good if you're trying to run her in a ethereal team, or you're trying to run her in a damage team like a Vow team. This is the only reason why you want to use her. Apart from that, she's useless. She's got decent speed. 103 is not the worst speed. You know, I've seen worse than that. But she's definitely the better one out of the 4. Out of these 4 characters, not the new one. The new one's something else. But out of these 4 characters, she's definitely the best one. Elune is okay, but again, she's too slow. 102 speed. I know 103, 102 is not big of a difference, but 102 speed is slow anyway. She does a ton of damage. Her damage is insane for the early game people. If you're early game, please use her. Elune will actually help you in PvP, and it will help you in Odyssey. But in late game, this is actually quite useless. You're not going to use Elune. She's just not going to do no damage. Well, she does damage, but she's going to die. But either way, it's not damage that you're expecting, because you just use Nyx. And Femist, again, very strong early game, insanely strong early game. The only bad thing about her is that she doesn't do her channeling ability where she attacks and attacks and attacks with the ultimate. That's never happening. That's more of a dream. That only happens in the early game where everyone's super weak and ungeared. In the real scenario, she will die by a one-shot in the enemy team. Talanis would stun her and kill her. Gwyn would probably aim for her. Who else will kill her? Idora, Cat, they all will kill her, right? And you're probably thinking, go, Cat's slow. Cat has a skin, turn out 100 speed or 101 speed. So yeah, she's basically really slow and really useless. The only way she becomes very strong, just like other characters, is she gets a skin and a buff. That's about it. So like for Doris, for example, Doris was quite weak in Doom. Doris, she was so useless for like the longest time. She was helpful, but it wasn't good, right? Then she got a buff and then a buff, and then now she's insanely strong. This could be the same thing for Femist. It's just that you have to wait until she could be good. So again, if she gets a skin, she's going to be even better. But again, she's not a great character at the moment. She's quite useless. The only reason why you want to use her is just to have a 5th or 4th round on your team. That's it. Her damage is insane in the early game, but it's super bad in the late game because it's never happening. But maybe if she just get a skin and a buff, she could be way better than what she is. But I wouldn't advise anyone prioritizing her. If you get the ticket, this one right here, if you get this, do not get her from here. Do not get this. You want to get one of these 2 or one of these 3, right? One of these 3. Do not get her. This is going to be a complete waste, and it's going to actually annoy you late game when you realize how much of a waste that actually is. So yeah, not a prioritize. Do not prioritize this character. She's useless. Who else is here? You can prioritize this character if you want a cheaper character. He's not a royal. She's one of the ones you should prioritize after Atropos. She's also a good character you could prioritize after Atropos. Do not prioritize this. She's super useless. She's only good in Doom, and that's about it. Or if you want to run an enchantment team, she's good. She's the worst character in Val. She provides nothing for Val. She's just there to look good. Apart from that, she's useless. Do not get this character. Do not even spend money on that character. Who else is here? Oh, this new character just came out, this patch. She's very strong. I would say that I've seen insane teams with her. The reason why I can't say to go get her is because she's quite hard for people to get. You only can get her from the synergy summons, or you can get her from the guild shop. And if you're new to the game, you can't do that. If you're a late game like me, you could spend some money and try and get her. But I wouldn't recommend early game to mid game people to buy her, because it's not a game changing character. But for people like me, it could be game changing in Val, because she's great. She's a great unit with not Nyx, sorry. Well, she can be good with Nyx. You have the red runes, but I don't advise you get the red runes. She's quite good with Naui. She's quite good with Naui because Naui does a lot of damage, and they do share the same synergies apart from their main synergy. They do share this one, and they do share Striker. 112 speed. a decent speed for support. It could be higher in my opinion. I do think they should have made it 114. That's what I think. I think it should have been 114, just like I think Athena's also 114, right? Yeah, I feel like she could have been 114 in my opinion. I do think 112 is a bit weird, but 112 is not bad, but it could have been higher because she's like one of a revenue unit. But yeah, I would say prioritize her if you have the money probably, or you have the time, or if you're late game. But if you're early game, do not prioritize her because she's too hard for you to get, and she's not going to be doing a massive output for your team. So the only people you want to prioritize in Val, since the video is going to be done now, I spoke about everyone here. You want to make sure you get her. Get her from Guild Shop, get her from the tickets, get her from any, I don't care where you get her, Valkyrie 777 or summoned, just make sure you get her to 15. That's the first thing you want to do. Then you want to get Makaria. Again, get her from Odyssey, get her from anywhere. Makaria's great. Second prioritized character. Then you want to get Nyx. Nyx is the third character. Then you go Victoria. Then of course, if you want this, it's up to you. This is up to you selection. I'm not gonna say prioritize it. It's up to you if you want to get this because it's quite new and it's gonna be quite expensive. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can get it if you like him. I'll say she's more of a prioritize if you want to get her exclusive runes. She's quite useful in Val because it's actually annoying to deal with that. And yeah, she's also good if you're late game. If you're not late game, do not get this character because it's not going to be doing a massive output. If you are early game, you want to prioritize her badly. Femis early game is so OP, it feels like a royal. But when you're in mid to late game, do not prioritize the character because it's going to hold you back. Illusion again. Early game, prioritize this character. In the mid to late game, you got to ditch her. She's useless. And then Ashlyn, yeah, don't bother. She is just trash. Don't get her. And other characters that work well in Val, I forgot to mention this. Other characters that work well in Val is Seraphina. Seraphina again. You see my team. I use her. Again, also Naui. Naui's good in Val because she's a physical DPS. You get the physical DPS buff in Val. This one right here. This one says physical damage dealt by 100%. So what this means is that this only applies to physical damage dealers, so not magical, physical damage dealers. So if you want to run certain characters in Val, you got to make sure if they're physical or magical. How would you find out if they're physical or magical? Well, it tells you up here. It says the warrior who is physical damage, and then a character like her says magic damage. So again, please note that if you are using Val, do not put a magical damage dealer in your team, because why the hell do you want to do that? You want to get the full benefit from Val, so put physical DPS in your team. Get it? That's great. I have to mention that because some people don't even know that, and it's actually quite annoying to see that. Why lose the... Well, it can work. You can use a magical DPS in Val, but you're not going to get the full benefit, right? So this is the teams I use for my Val team before I end this video. This is what I would use. I use something like this in my Val team. So I'll put Seraphina to get the shield ignore and the extra striker and the celestial, and then I would run something like this. So now I've got 3 strikers, 2 Vals, and then I've got 1 demon, 1 celestial. And then you're probably thinking, well, how am I going to finish this off? Well, I'll finish it off with double monarchs. I've got 2 monarchs, 2 demon, 2 celestials, 3 strikers, 4 Val. That's what I do in my team. Quite simple, quite easy to do. Put Makaria in the front line because she doesn't die, because she's got monarchs, and you put Atropos because she's bulky with the damage reduction, and then Seraphina with the blessing. 3 strikers, so they're all benefiting from striker, and then you got you got 2 holy shield stacks, or 4 holy shield. No, you got 3 holy shield stacks, and then you got the celestial buff. If someone kills you on your team, then you're gonna remove all their buffs, which is great, but no one's gonna die on your team anyway. That's what I use. Another team you could use is something like this. This is also really good. This is what you get: 4 striker. It's overkill. You don't need 4 striker, but this is actually also really good. You get 2 Glorians, 4 striker, 3 Val, and then you get 2 demons and then 1 celestial. This is also really good because Naui is a physical damage dealer, like I mentioned, and it does a ton of damage in this team because she's physical damage dealer, and she does a ton of damage anyway, with the Glorian buff giving her more stacks, and then you got the striker, and then you got the Val, and then you got the demon buff giving her lifesteal and attack down here, because we've got 2 demons, and then we've got this one right here giving the team 25% extra attack. So she's getting a bunch of attack, making her super useful in this team. And also another person you could use is Eudora. I use a single Eudora in my team sometimes. The only reason why I use Eudora on this team because I have the skin, making me be able to attack in defense and attack because she's got the skin, making her what speed is it? 116? How do I even check? Yeah, she's like 116, so she's going to be faster than everyone in the enemy team on defense or attack unless they got a skin themselves. So I use Adora, and another reason why I use Adora is because she's also a Celestial. So I've got two Celestials like before. The only thing about her is that she can attack multiple times, but I need the runes. I don't have the runes, but if I do have the runes, it's really good. She's also a physical damage dealer at the top. Please note that it's actually useful. So she gets the benefit of the Val, and she's also a strong target in general. Once you get her exclusive runes, it'll be quite good. Again, this actually still works in Val. Crazy as it seems, it does work because you have actual crit rate. But yeah, this is actually a decent team you can run. The reason why it works, you're probably thinking, how does that even work? It doesn't even make any sense. You get 20, or you get 15 from here, and then if you go to your Sage Tome, you also get them from there too. Your Sage Tome gives you crit rate if you max it out. I don't know how much crit rate it gives you, but it also gives you crit rate from there. So if you want to use that, you can. And that's the team I'd use sometimes. Again, I could also use other teams if I wanted to. So let's say I wanted to use this character, right? I'll probably take out this character. I would take out something like that and do something like this. I'll probably do something like this if I was gonna use her in my team. Oops. The only reason why you need someone else that can stun. That's the only problem. So in a Galorian team, you probably would use something like this. This looks really funky. It looks funky. It does look funky, but it does work. Yeah, I've seen it work. It looks crazy funky. I know it does, and I know it looks garbage, but it does work. It's not a Val team. It's just a team of her in it. It does work. You're probably thinking, how does it work? She can stun, by the way, if you don't know. She can stun, and because she's very fast with the skin gives her 109 speed, 108 speed. She's going to stun based on the stack. She's going to have stack because she's in the Glorian team. With Atropos, she's going to also have free strikers. Yeah, you have 3 strikers in the team. She's going to get increased damage. She will stun people. And then, of course, this character is going to ult again and ult again because she gets 2 ults. And then, of course, now he's going to also attack again. And with this synergy, because we have it at 4, it's actually insanely annoying to deal with because then they're going to continuously attack with Nawi because Nawi can attack multiple times, and then if you do stun, yeah, you're pretty much going to ult again. So that's how you can use this character if you want to use this character. But I wouldn't advise people to use this character like I'm using it right now because Glorious have better teams. But if you want to have something fun to use and you don't want to use meta, you could use something like this. It's actually quite fun to use. I've seen it work before. It's actually insanely strong. It's just that it's a bit of a weird team. But yeah, that's what I use in my Glorian team anyway. Well, not my Glorian team, sorry. This is what I use for my Val team. Just that. That's it. That's what I use. And I use these relics, by the way. The Val relics are terrible. Don't even bother with those. The fucking... What is it called? The... You get execute on 10 or 20% shot. Yeah, don't even bother with that. I don't know why they even added it in that game. That is so useless that it's most likely going to get you killed. Because it gives you trash relics just for that. Use this. This is more useful. There we go. This right here. This is what we want to use, right? The reason why we want to use this set right here is probably thinking why I don't want to use this. You could use this if you, for example, I don't have it. Please tell me I can show you. Oh my god, I can't even show you. Well, you know the spear in Avengers. You use it and then it gives you 100 boost. Yeah, use that if you want. But I'm using the budget version because we're on a cheap like team right now because it's not my main team, so I don't really care for it. This right here will give you stacks. Again, why do you care about stacks? Do you care about stacks? It gives you a Ignore shield. This will give you a shield round 1. Round 1, you're going to have a bunch of holy shields. They can't actually get rid of it unless they have like, what's her name? Laquishus. If they don't have Laquishus, then they're doomed. This right here would save you for a couple rounds. By the time you get to round 2, you're going to have Ignore shields because you need 30 stacks. Right here, you're going to be needing 30 stacks. If you don't have 30 stacks, then you can't get Ignore shield. you need to make sure, if you're using Seraphina in Val, you gotta make sure you get those ignore shields in round 2. If it's not in round 2, she's useless, right? So if you're gonna use Seraphina in your Val team, you gotta make sure you have ignore shields on round 2. In order to get round 2, you need to give things that give you a lot of stacks. So Blade of Chaos, where is it? This video is actually taking longer than expected. Yeah, where is it? Okay, this gives you 2 stacks of Holy Shield per ally. So again, if you have 5 allies in your team, everyone's gonna get 2 Holy Shield stacks. Then they're gonna get 1 stack of heal boost. So they're gonna get 3 stacks per ally. So again, that's the reason why I used the Blade of Chaos, because it gives you 3 stacks per ally. Then on round 2, you're gonna have so many stacks from other things. So the Sage Tome is going to give you stacks for just resisting. So if you get hit, you're going to get attack, damage reduction, blah, blah, whatever, right? That's Sage Tome. And then, of course, in round 2, you're going to have so much stacks, and then you're going to be able to have ignore shields so you can fight other teams like Glorians and Val, not Glorians, Val, Glorians and Ethereals, ignore shields, then kill them. But if you don't use the Blade of Chaos, you're not getting no Holy Shield ignore, yeah, or not. I say Holy Shield ignore, shield ignore. You're not getting no shield ignore in round 2 because you don't have stacks. So that's the only way you're gonna truly get ignore shields 100% of the time in Val if you have Blades of Chaos. No Blades of Chaos, no stacks, no ignore shields. You get it? Okay, great. This video is taking longer than expected, but yeah, that's it for the video. My next video tomorrow is my my runs I did for her. They went okay. I said they were okay. I wouldn't say they were anything special. I haven't bought her from the season pass yet. This one right here, I haven't bought her from the season pass yet. So I'm gonna have her at 9-star. So yeah, that's it. That was my runs. But yeah, that's it for the video. If you did like the video, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you want to know anything. I'll just explain it on text. But yeah, this video is quite helpful if you want to use Val. If you don't want to use Val, don't bother watching this video because nothing's gonna help you. But yeah, thanks for watching.